Hello, everybody. My name is Olaleko. I'm also the founder of Just for Women Africa. And today on the show, in a Zoom interview all the way from New York, I'm in America. We have with us Nimoy. Nimoy is from South Sudan and grew up in America. And she is the founder of The Principal Thing. She's a model, and her agency caters for upcoming models, both male and female. Um, we're talking to her about how she got into the modeling agency, her plans for the future, and any other thing that comes up during the conversation. So stick around and we'll be right back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Just Women Africa, and we have us Nimoy. Nimoy, yeah, welcome to Just Women Africa.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm grateful to be here.
Tell us, how did you get into the modeling industry?
I started modeling locally where I grew up in Nebraska in the middle of America. Ended up just networking, meeting people. My mom used to get stopped a lot, but African parents are just like, no, you're going to college, you're going to school, you're not doing that. But later on, I met a mentor and they just really pushed me to get into it. And I just explored it a little bit and ended up moving to New York at 19. And yeah, just trying to pursue it on my own. And I've been in it ever since. So it's about 13 years now.
Okay, 13 years is a long time. Okay. Is that something you always wanted to do, being a model?
No, it actually isn't. It wasn't something I wanted to do. I kind of just fell into it because of needing to pay for school and to financially support myself and my family. And it was kind of told to me in that way that I would be able to make some money through it. So it was more of a mechanism to pay for my education and to financially support myself.
Okay. Could you tell us what were some of the challenges, getting into the modeling industry in America? What kind of some of things you had to face?
Not only just discrimination, but I think more just not having a lot of education about the industry in general. A lot of us come in and you romanticize the industry and you think that it's what it is in TV, so glamorized, and the realities of it isn't what it seems. Long work hours, not really having protection on set, not really having anybody to really advocate and fight for you, and having to learn to do all that on your own and really fight for yourself so you're able to get paid fairly, also get treated right as well, like basic things. Trying to navigate the industry was very challenging, and also having to work while I was modeling and trying to make income when realizing your money doesn't come right away. You're not famous. It's not overnight stuff. Like, you really have to put in the work to see it come to fortune and to the place that you want it to be. You have to really hustle.
Okay. Let's talk about discrimination. I mean, over the last 14 years, when you're faced with a situation where, that comes up, how are you able to handle it?
For me, it's just professionalism, making sure that I find ways to voice my concerns, knowing who is my point of contact. In the beginning of my career is mostly just trying to speak to my agents. But obviously sometimes you're in a disagreement because they're like, just do this job and it's going to get better. It's going to get better. Do this, and then you realize as time go on, like, no, actually, like, I need to speak up for myself and I need to learn about who on set is my point of contact, and learning that, okay, a producer is going to be the person I speak to because they need to make sure everything is going right on set, and just educating myself in that way. But when I was coming up, it was around the time, it was called the whiteout in the industry. A lot of Black models weren't getting jobs and we weren't getting casted. Maybe there'll be like one or two of us on a runway. So trying to tackle those issues. But for me, I think because it wasn't my main thing, I didn't dream to be a model. I was okay with picking up other like hustles, and I went back to school. So I had other things that kept my mind busy. So I wasn't really fully into the fashion until maybe a few years later, when seeing like, hey, I actually do need to speak up and I can use my voice, because even if I get blackballed or like people remove me from work, I did that for some other girl that actually does want to do this, So knowing like that sometimes you're placed in a position, in a place to really speak up for others. So just taking on that challenge, really.
Okay. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you had to walk off set because you were discriminated?
Yeah, not particularly set, but castings for sure. I went to a casting and a casting director was very rude and just racist to me and another Black girl that had come in. He said that he never requested for Black models to come to the casting, just like that, which was just, I was just taken aback. And I remember having to step to the back of the room to go call my agent and ask her, like, hey, like, in the email, did he ask for like us to come to this casting? And she's like, yeah, he actually did. And she like sent me a screenshot of it. But it was just like those type of moments, and like knowing that I had to hold my head high and like remove myself from that situation. But it was really the most humiliating like feeling. And there's a lot more stories like that. But I think that one just stood out to me because it was so public, and he did it in a way where he didn't care. And, you know, it was in front of other like models, especially models that weren't even Black. You know, it's two of us that had walked in at the same time. So I remember just standing up for myself in that situation.
Let's talk about being paid fairly. Was it a situation of, for example, you're expecting, let's say, $1,000 and they give you 500, or the fact that they look at you and they just say, okay, well, because of your experience and the way you look, we're not going to pay you this amount?
I don't really know directly. Nobody's ever like said it that way, but maybe in the way that they move. But what I did find at the beginning of my career is that we were getting paid more in like trade, like we'll get paid in clothes instead of money. And I just found that that was not very sustainable. Like I can't take care of myself with clothes. Yes, I know I can go sell it, but I worked all these hours, stood on my feet, ran all these like castings and everything, and finding that out, like this was in more of the high fashion side, but I ended up moving on to commercial a few years later. But yeah, in the beginning, just during fashion week, high fashion, knowing that you get paid in trade, that was kind of not sustainable to me.
So how were you able to navigate your way around that?
Knowing that I don't want to be a high fashion model. There was no money in it. I decided that I'd rather be a commercial model. I'd rather use my personality and work with clients that represent like everybody. I'd rather work for big clients that showcase all types of nationalities and like different cultures. So I really fought to transition and built my book towards more of a commercial aspect. So I can get that type of clientele.
Okay. So over the last 14 years, could you give an example of such of clientele you worked with, high profile clients you worked with?
Yeah. I've worked with L'Oreal. I do a lot of beauty. So Estee Lauder, MAC Cosmetics. I've worked with Apple. I've worked with Target. I've worked with, I don't even, yeah, mostly, yeah. I don't know. It's hard talk about yourself in that way. But yeah, I've worked with very amazing clientele. I've even worked with Fenty as well, in the beginning of her clothing when she was doing her clothing with Puma.
Okay, so let's talk briefly about your company, The Principal Thing. What is it about?
Yeah, so Principal Thing is a space platform to really help young models of color navigate the industry, giving them the education and the resources they need. So providing mentorship for them. And then also I have a mother agency aspect of that. So I scout and develop models as well, just to prepare them for the industry, really giving them the tools that they need so that they can better have greater careers and longevity.
Okay. The models you're referring to, are they in America or you're talking about models in Africa?
I work with models in Africa, I work with models in Europe, and I also work with models here in the States.
Okay. So how do the models contact? Did you go out reaching out for models or you wait for an opportunity and you give them a call?
I think it's all of it. If I could say, like, if I kind of just give me that, definitely. And then I do get a lot of people reaching out to me. And I think through the mentorship aspect of it, I meet a lot of young talent that's trying to come in. And through there, I'm able to find some amazing faces that I'm able to get out there. So
Could you give us countries you worked with? I mean, apart from America.
Kenya for sure. I have a girl also from Congo. I work with talent in West Africa. I work with Belgium. I work with Germany. here, of course, in the States. But yeah, I hope to like expand more. I'm still pretty much a baby like company, but I hope to expand and be very global and help a lot more other people.
All right. Okay. As a model of the last 14 years, how were you able to handle situations such as sexual harassment?
It's a lot. I think with that aspect is really, again, the team that you have around you, knowing who your point of contacts are. I'm very blessed with a great agent who has been around me for many years, and she always speaks up for me. If I say something, she'll definitely listen to what I have to say and stand up for me, no questions asked. And I just, yeah, that's kind of how what really helped me. I had a great support system.
Okay. So could you tell us who are the models you look up to? I mean, when you started, like even still presently, what models you look up to that you love to get to the level they are at?
Um, I I don't I just have mentors and like I feel like my level is my level. Like I will never like compare to anybody. And I think the biggest model that really helped me out was Atong Arjuk. She's a South Sudanese model, and I just really appreciated her when I was coming up, and her being able to, give guidance and really give me advice. And there's many models like that, that, they're just selfless and they understand that sometimes it's just about giving the information out. You learn something and you gain knowledge, and then the next thing to do is pass it on to the next person. And they've taught me to do that. And I just hope that's my hope, that I'm able to do that for the next generation of models, just using my platform and my experience that I've been able to gain, that I've been blessed enough to experience as well. So yeah, I would say Atong Arjuk and Alika. They're two of my favorite models from South Sudan.
What's your advice to men who are watching you and who are looking up to you and would love to get into the modeling industry?
Yeah, I would say definitely do your research, always educate yourself. And there's endless possibilities. And I think now more than ever, you're able to create the career and the life that you want for yourself if you stay patient and persistent and also true to yourself. I really advocate for that, making sure that you maintain self and know that all things always work out for the best. And no matter what, as long as you're, keeping a good heart and really pushing yourself and seeing all the different possibilities that there is there for you and not giving up.
That's lovely. That's beautiful. Okay, so as we round up the interview, could you tell us what is the future for Ninoy?
I know, like, I definitely claim it. I know that through the hard work and everything that I've been putting down, the foundation I've been planting and building all these years, I know that I'm going to be able to be a change maker in this industry. And I strive to be a pioneer and really helping widen our platform, especially in the continent, and really educating and helping our young talents to be able to be a part of this global change with the fashion industry and to have a voice in it. Africa is not, it's not the future, is right now. It's happening, and things are moving. And I just hope to highlight us and all the different things we're doing all across the diaspora.
Thank you so much for being on the show with us. We really appreciate it. But before we round up, could you give out your contact details for people who want to contact you through the agency? Principal thing.
Yeah, you can hit me up on social media. I know all the youth are there. Principal Thing, at Principal Thing. And then also my personal is at Nyamuoch Girwath, NYAMUOCH
Thank you so much for having us on the show. Having you come on the show with us, really appreciate it. We look forward to interviewing again in future.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you. And to viewers who are watching, don't forget to like, subscribe, tell a friend who knows a friend about Just for Women Africa, and for Naomi and I to be. Bye.